feature contest is a King of the Mountain qualifying match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from American Samoa, he is the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe!
What a 2-year ride since Samoa Joe arrived in TNA. This King of the Mountain qualifier against Sting, he looks at it as his golden opportunity. This is step number 1 if Joe wants to realize his dream of becoming the world's heavyweight champion.
And his opponent, from Venice Beach, California, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sting!
You know, in a lot of people's minds, Sting is the champion. They feel that he pinned Christian Cage at Sacrifice before he tapped out. I believe Jim Cornette made the right decision in opening this up and making it qualifying matches in the King of the Mountain. But you've got to wonder how much Sting can go through. It seems like he's always having to take one more step to become champion, and now he has to face Samoa Joe.
And I was so intrigued by the way that Samoa Joe warned Sting earlier tonight on Impact. He told Sting, I have a purpose, I have a direction. He said, yes, Sting, I respect you, but now you're in my way, and Sting, I will treat you no differently than I would Kurt Angle or Christian Cage. And those are strong words from Samoa Joe.
I mean, this is the first time these two have ever met in the ring in a match, but think about it, it's not the first time that these two have been associated together. I remember a time when Sting actually used Samoa Joe to help him out. I also remember when Sting needed him most, Samoa Joe walking up that ramp. There is a little bit of history here between these two, Mike.
I want to remind you that you can text TNA to 76,000 for a 1-week free trial membership to TNA Mobile. Exclusive video and the latest behind-the-scenes news. Text TNA to 76,000 for the free membership to TNA Mobile.
It's been a feeling out process from the beginning right here with so much at stake. Sting gonna have to use that experience, and Joe, well, he's been close before. This is his chance again to show his dominance in the heavyweight division.
Couldn't put it better myself. Very tentative, very cautious here in the opening minute because, Don, you're right. What's at stake? The winner advances to the King of the Mountain match at Slammiversary, and the loser is out of the world's title picture.
Wow, Joe telegraphed that. Sting was waiting for it. And there he goes in for the Scorpion right there. Can he get it put on? Oh, but Joe able to counter. He's obviously scouted that, and now he's got him, Mike.
Just from the split second that we talked about how tentative and how cautious they were, Sting goes for the Scorpion. Joe with the choke. Referee Andrew Thomas checking to see if that is a chokehold with the rear naked choke applied. But I think both men went for their finishing moves way too early in this match. And now look at this Sting again. He's going to go back to the well one more time with the Scorpion.
Well, he saw an opportunity, and I think he feels that's his best bet to beat the Samoan submission machine. Get him in that Scorpion and make him tap out. He knows that it's not something that Joe's been in before.
To see that look on the face of Samoa Joe when he got back up to his feet, I think he's surprised here that Sting would change up his usual offensive pattern where he wears down his opponent before he goes either for the Scorpion Deathlock or the Scorpion Death Drop.
I really believe that Joe felt that Sting was going to be intimidated by him right here. I think that he really thought he was going to have the advantage, but obviously a man with that experience, he's not. And now Joe's going back to the basics.
You're right. Series of shots, the right hands, right to the chin of the Icon, drops Sting in his tracks. Joe, you can sense the confidence level rising at this point. Going to set him up in the corner. Now it's rights and lefts to the midsection. A right hand to the jaw. Going to take Sting and shoot him off into the corner, but you see the quick reversal, the counter by Sting, and then he caught him in the corner with the clothesline.
And here comes Christopher Daniels, who's got that weird relationship with Sting, as that's twice now. Sting is hit with a clothesline that just reverberated through the entire impact zone, and he goes for the Stinger splash, and Joe able to get out of the way as Daniels looks on.
Wow, in recent weeks, everywhere we see Sting, we see the fallen angel popping up. After this commercial break, we'll return to Sting and Samoa Joe on Impact. Welcome back, everyone, to Impact here on Spike TV. Our main event matchup, the Icon Sting against the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, where the winner will advance to the world's title match at the King of the Mountain at Slammiversary, and the loser is out. The loser is eliminated. Check out what went down during the commercial break. This Impact Spotlight brought to you by Bug from the director of The Exorcist in theaters everywhere May 25th.
You can see the fallen angel Christopher Daniels letting Sting know that he's there for him, but Sting's telling him, you gotta leave right now. It's way too important for him. Honestly, I don't know what Christopher Daniels is thinking. He's gonna be nothing but a distraction to Sting right now in this qualifying match for King of the Mountain.
As a matter of fact, Sting said, why are you even out here, totally rejecting any kind of help that the fallen angel may want to give him? And Samoa Joe connects, extended the leg, drop Sting, mid-ring, here's the pin, and a 2 count.
Well, able to get that shoulder up just in time with so much at stake, but that was the Samoa Joe we remember, flying off those ropes, his speed belying his size, able to get that knee up in the face, and now look at him, taking that arm right across the head.
And you're right, Don, to this point in time in the match, we've seen a cautious Samoa Joe going back to the basics. I think he realizes that Sting has such a huge experience edge when it comes to big-time, high-profile matchups that these two men have been involved in. He doesn't want to fall into that trap of allowing Sting to lure him in, and Joe just powered him right down to the mat.
Oh, use that force. I mean, you make such a great point, Mike. I mean, think about what's at stake in this match as you see Joe going up and just crushing him with the elbow. It's not like a title match. I mean, if this match here, if you lose and you see you almost got the pin, you may be out of the title picture for a long time.
And speaking of the title picture, Jim Cornette has just sent word to the broadcast table that at the end of this match, we will have the announcement of the two wrestlers who will compete next week on Impact, match number 3, King of the Mountain qualifiers.
Think about the names that are going to be involved. We haven't heard about AJ Styles. We haven't heard about Robert Roode. And we haven't heard about the King of the Mountain himself, Jeff Jarrett.
And earlier, Don, you mentioned the possibility of seeing someone like Christian Cage against Tomko. And there's also that chance that Jim Cornette would go outside the TNA roster to get someone involved because there's no glass ceiling in TNA. Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels up on the ring apron. What's he doing here?
Well, he's got the bat in his hand and he's trying to distract the ref, and he throws the bat to Sting. Oh, he's trying to get Sting use that bat, and Sting doesn't want to go out that way. And he's ticked off, and he just pushes Christopher Daniels down.
You're right, he just shoved the Fallen Angel right down to the floor, and he just walked right into that back kick from Samoa Joe. The open hand shots, the lefts and rights from Samoa Joe. Totally on the offensive now. Here comes that freight train, but he missed the kick. Sting, the smart...
Oh my God, he just hit him right in the back. You can see the look in Daniel's face. Joe doesn't realize it. Joe just thinks that Sting is out on his feet and Joe's got him up. Oh, and he brings him right back down.
Samoan drop. Joe the cover. Joe the pin. Joe the 3 count. Samoa Joe wins it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, advancing to the King of the Mountain, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe joins Kurt Angle as the second man to qualify for the King of the Mountain TNA World's title match at Slammiversary.
We need to know who it's going to be next week. What two are going to be in the ring qualifying for the King of the Mountain?
Listen to this.